between you and your success, between you and happiness, there are not so many external obstacles and external factors. Mostly it is about the state of your mind. And the obstacles, they are internal. They are different beliefs, different things that you have convinced yourself about. And they are holding you, they are not allowing you to move, to act, and to succeed. So it is very important to dismantle those beliefs. And how you do that? You do through the application of truth. Mostly all those convictions, they are based on falsehood. You have got an experience and you have interpreted that experience in a certain way. You decided that this experience is negative, and now you hold the fear in your head. For example, in the childhood, you went to the stage, you wanted to sing, and then everybody was laughing. So you felt humiliated, and you decided, I will never go on stage anymore. But maybe they were not even laughing at you. Somebody told a joke and they were laughing about the joke. But you have given that interpretation. The stage equals humiliation. So that belief is there in your mind. Until it is there in your mind, you will not go to the stage. Who wants humiliation? So how to remove those? This is the topic of this video. I'm going to talk about the yoga of knowledge. When we hear the word yoga today, we imagine people with the yoga mats, they're walking to build a beautiful physique. But real yoga is the yoga of consciousness. It's the yoga how to become an outstanding personality, how to fulfill your complete potential. So yoga of knowledge goes in stages. If you like this topic and you can support our channel, you can hit the like button at this moment. My name is Dada Sadananda, Acharya Sadananda Vadhuta. I am a practitioner of meditation since almost 30 years. And my goal is to help people in crisis to open a new chapter in their life, to start a golden age in their life, just like my golden age have started around 30 years ago when I started to practice meditation. I will start this video with one simple story about limitations, the illusory nature of the limitations. There was one lady in the United States of America. Her name was Helen Keller, and she was born into an affluent family. But at the age of 1.5 years, she became sick, and then she lost both abilities. She lost the power of hearing, and she lost her vision. So just imagine a condition of the person who doesn't hear and doesn't see. Just imagine. Honestly speaking, I cannot imagine. It's just like you're sitting in a jail. You cannot interact with the world. So her parents, they hired an assistant for her, and her name was Anne Sullivan. So this woman was also half blind, and she graduated from the school of blind people. So she started to teach this girl how to speak, how to interact with the world. So she would make her touch different objects, and then she would write the name of the object on her hand. But the girl didn't get it. She was like, what? I don't understand what is happening. I'm just touching something and then something is happening with my hand. But one day, she touched the water, and then Anne wrote on her palm, water. And then this girl says, wow, I got it finally. It was like a blast in her brain of joy, of happiness. So she became like this thirst of knowledge has awakened in her. And then in one day, she learned 30 words, demanding more and more, becoming more and more hungry for knowledge. So she learned a lot of things in her life. She has graduated in a school. She has graduated as a bachelor from the college. And then she met all the American presidents. And she traveled the world, 40 countries in the world, giving motivational speeches. She visited Japan. In Japan, she was particularly favorite. She wrote many books. And she was promoting the rights of the blind people, the rights of the deaf people. And she was supporting the poor people. It's an incredible life. So just imagine, most of the people, they would be broken by that. But if you don't have in your mind this limiting beliefs, just pure thirst for life, for truth, for knowledge, that type of mind is going to elevate you very high. So we need to figure out how the knowledge liberates. And I will explain you 3 very precise steps how you acquire knowledge. So knowledge, it goes in 2 directions. One direction of the knowledge is mundane. It's outside. You're going outside. You need something from external world. A book, vision, hearing, touch. Through the sensory organ you acquire that knowledge. There is another kind of knowledge which is called spiritual knowledge. Knowledge of the spirit, mundane knowledge, knowledge of the world. Spiritual knowledge, knowledge of the spirit. So that knowledge is infinite in nature. You acquire that in meditation. It's another topic, beautiful topic also. You connect with inner infinite source of knowledge. And you are never short of ideas, you are never short of inspiration. So mundane and spiritual. And then 2 approaches. Negative approach and positive approach. Okay, to illustrate the negative approach, I will tell you another story. 1854, London, England. Pandemics of cholera. People are dying, hundreds of deaths. And one young anesthesiologist, one doctor, his name is Jon Snow. You know there is one movie, and there is one character, Jon Snow, but here is a different Jon Snow. So that doctor, he decides to find out what is the reason why all these people are dying. So he goes house by house, and then he marks on the map where somebody has died. When he looks back at the map, after having done so much work, he sees that there is a pattern. So it is all radial. And then, closer to the central point, the more thick is the density. Further from the central point, the density is getting less. So it becomes very clear. So they go to the central point in the map, and they find their what? They find their water pump. So people taking the water from the water pump, and they die. So what actually has happened, there was a patient 0. It was some child sick with cholera, and then his clothes, his rags was washed, and that water went into sewage, and somehow in the sewage reconnected with the drinking water. So everybody got sick and everybody was dying. So he went to the city authorities and they removed handle from this water pump. Stop, closed. Immediately people stopped dying. So this is negative approach. Identify what is the problem. Close it. So what is your poisoned pump? Where is it? Which radiates the poison. So within us there are this kind of poisonous things which spoil our life. How they come about? They come about in two ways. One way self-suggestion. You have experienced something, and in your mind, you have decided to interpret this situation this way. Like, for example, I was telling you already, you are on the stage, you are very young, everybody is laughing, and you feel people laughing at me, they're ridiculing me. I feel humiliated. You experience intense pain of humiliation. You decided, stage equals humiliation. Public speaking equals humiliation. So you block, you prevent. It's just like you put the red tape. Don't go there. You should not go there. And half of the world you cut. No, there is danger. I should not go there. Another one is the auto-suggestion. You suggest yourself, you decide yourself. Is auto and then out there. From outside, for example, when I was a child, my parents, they used to tell me, with a good heart, without any bad intentions, but not very educated way, they would tell me, your sister has a very great musical talent, but you, the bear has stepped on your ear. Meaning, you don't have any musical hearing capacity. You are completely worthless in the field of music. So, I'm generally quite a confident person, but after hearing this 100 times, I have believed, yes, the bear has stepped on my ear. I cannot sing, I cannot play. And that complex stayed with me for many, many, many years. Then until I finally decide, okay, I'm going to break it. Then I start to take guitar and then sing out of tune, out of everything, but, enjoying. And then slowly, I build up and I can sing. So, either somebody told you and you have believed, or you have told yourself and you have believed. This is how you form the belief system. And the ego structure is there to maintain all those beliefs. What is the ego? Ego is the function of the mind to maintain your life, to survive. So even maybe you are suffering. Let's say you are suffering, but you are surviving. The function of the ego is fulfilled. Ego is happy. Doesn't matter, you are suffering, you are happy. The ego has delineated the territory on which you can move. And the moment you go out of that territory, then there is a great anxiety and a great fear. When you go against those beliefs, you experience the fear. So how you can break those beliefs? Okay, this I told you. One was the negative approach. Find the poisonous pump within yourself. Another is positive approach. Find the belief which is so positive that automatically cancels the limiting beliefs that you had before. One example, there is one very inspirational person. His name is Nick Vujicic. He doesn't have limbs. He doesn't have hands. He doesn't have legs. So imagine growing with this kind of condition. So he was depressed. But one day he read in the scripture that God is saying, I will be your strength. And that was such an idea, a powerful idea. Revolutionized his mind. Okay, I don't have legs, I don't have hands, but I have God. And He will be my strength. So this is the power of faith. And, we can experience it day to day. Those people who have that kind of faith in them, no problem. I don't have this, I don't have that, but I have this, something great. So, this is the second approach, positive approach. So, positive approach to acquire the ideas, liberating ideas. How you do that? You do that in meditation, because you connect your mind with the highest positive idea. Secondly, you acquire it from reading spiritual philosophy. Third, you acquire that by connecting with people who are spiritual, who are on the spiritual path and who themselves, they struggled with their belief systems and they overcome those fears. If you are with a fearless person, you will be liberated from your fears. I was asking my meditation teacher about our guru, and he said, you know, he was a very particular kind of personality. When you are with him, you feel completely fearless. And many people, they would decide many crazy things also. Like one person, he decided, oh, I want to be a monk. And then Guru said very lovingly, he said, but you are very young. Actually, our system, we become young as a monks. And he said, I am already 36. He said, yeah, but not 63. In a very mild way. He's just like, it's okay. And then that person, when he came out of that spell of that personality, he was telling, what did I think? I have a family, I have a child. But he said, in his presence, I felt so inspired. I felt so fearless. And I felt that I can do anything and everything. So this is the influence of the great people in our life. So slowly we accept the consciousness of elevated people. So that is called satsang. And then knowledge. How you acquired knowledge. Bound by action, liberated by knowledge. You got experience. That experience put you in bondage. Now you need to acquire knowledge which will liberate you from the bondage. You know, there is this idea that at the bottom is your experience. From experience is formed your belief system. From your belief systems formed your actions. Your actions form your experience. Your experience form your beliefs. Your beliefs form your actions. So it is a vicious cycle, unless you change at some level. So, and the best way, you change at the level of the belief. So how you acquire different belief? Through the knowledge. And knowledge has 3 stages, which are very separate and they have to be kept separate. Stage of perception, stage of digestion, and stage of being. They are called in Sanskrit Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Shravana means hearing, but you can say also seeing, hearing, touching, whatever you perceive through the organs. Then thinking. So you have heard the idea, let's say, you are the divine consciousness. Okay, I accept. First, I hear that. You can hear the positive ideas. You are divine consciousness. Or I can hear negative ideas also. You know, you are making mistake here. In this particular situation, you are making mistake. You should not do like this. This is a negative auto-suggestion. Negative not in the sense it is bad, but it is pointing into the poisonous pump. And positive, you are divine consciousness. So first you need to hear. You need to hear. In this stage, you should not resist. Many times, especially when we get, of course, from the positive suggestions, also some people resist. But with the negative, like if somebody points out your mistake, you become immediately defensive. Immediately you want to protect and resist. So you will not listen to the truth. And the truth is going to liberate you. So at this stage, don't argue, don't resist. Just take it. Take it inside. At the next stage, you need to break it and digest it. You need to analyze. You need to confront it in your mind and see whether it is true or not. Ask million questions about it. And there are many methods. Actually, to explain every portion, I need to record a separate video. You let me know in the comments if you want a separate video for every process. The art of hearing, art of thinking, and art of becoming. So when you're thinking, like hearing is like you are biting an apple. And then you're chewing the apple and digesting the apple. Or let's say not apple, watermelon. You're biting the watermelon. And then you're spitting the seeds out. Okay? So this is the process of thinking. You take the knowledge, you take the information, then you have to sort it out. If somebody tells me, Dada, you will never succeed in public speaking, for example, I have to, like, I'm not accepting it. You know, there is one story, the Buddha was walking, and then there was one, a very hater kind of personality, very jealous type of personality. So he came to Buddha and he started to pile insults upon Buddha. Like very many layers of the insults. Generations after generations insulting. And then Buddha was just looking at him with a smile, perceiving everything calmly, not resisting anything. And then finally Buddha said, you have anything more? Did you express yourself properly? Do you have anything more? He said, no, I have nothing more. He said, okay. So we were in the previous village and we were collecting some alms. People were giving us food and they brought so many good things for us, money also. But we are monks and we told that we only accept food enough for one day and we don't accept anything more. So what was the rest? We blessed and we returned. And Buddha asked, so if somebody, you have given something, but it has not been accepted, where should it go? It should return to the one who has given. So I have not accepted your insult. So that is the process of thinking. If something is untrue, you don't have to accept it. You have to think intensely to understand true or not. And to acquire that capacity to understand whether it is true or not, you need to develop viveka. Viveka is the power of discrimination. To tell what is the lie, what is the truth. How you develop that power of discrimination? Through the practice of concentration. When you practice concentration, when you look at idea, it unfolds. You see so many things. You see, first your mind is small, but when you concentrate, your mind expands. And then it understands all this magnanimity of this idea. So you can, by expanding your mind, you can grasp the idea properly and you can tell whether it is true or not. Anyway, that's a capacity. But in general, I would say that this thinking capacity, people are not practicing it. Because it is very hard. Because it is energy consuming. It is easy to listen, to accept the idea. No need to prove. Just, okay, I like. I dislike. That's it. But thinking, it means I dislike, I still like. Means I will really try to find, is there truth or not? Like, dislike doesn't matter. I need to find out, truth is there or not. And I tell you, if you awaken this capacity to think, you will never be bored in your life. Because the brain which is alive, the brain which is active, is so beautiful. Anytime, any place in the world, you will feel life is so interesting if you activate your brain. So through thinking, what is the goal of thinking? Is to clearly see the truth. Once you saw the truth, now you have to live by the truth. That's also a difficult one. So for that you need a willpower and determination to live by the truth. So once you have completed these three, your entire structure changes. You have changed, you perceived, you thought by thinking, you have changed your entire belief. Now you have implemented that belief in your life, and your belief has been expressed already in your action. The action you have done provided you with a new experience which has reinforced your new acquired belief. So this is how it goes. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. The same goes for spiritual efforts. There is one worldly knowledge and there is spiritual knowledge. Knowledge about yourself. You need worldly knowledge to acquire knowledge how to be successful in the world. And then you need spiritual knowledge to know how to be happy, to transform yourself. So what is spiritual knowledge? The idea, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Supreme Consciousness. And that very idea given to you in the form of mantra, universal mantra like I am teaching you, Bhavanam Kevalam, or personal mantra which you can get in the personal lesson of meditation. So in personal mantra, there is this idea, there is this seed of idea. And with the practice, you water that seed of idea, and it will sprout and become full-fledged knowledge. So you meditate. Who am I? I am divine consciousness. At the beginning, it's just like, it's the words, but you hear those words. I am divine consciousness. Then you think, how is it actually? How is it actually to be divine consciousness? You acquired the experience. Now, how to be that divine consciousness? In life, your behavior changes. Your attitude changes. So this is the process. So to summarize, knowledge is of two kinds. Mundane, of the world. Spiritual, of the spirit. The approaches are two kinds. Negative, find the poisonous well. Find the poisonous pump that destroys your happiness, that destroys your success. Find the limiting beliefs. What kinds of limiting beliefs are there? There are complexes. Inferiority complex. And there are many, many feelings there, like imposter complex, and I cannot do, I am too old, I am not beautiful enough, I am not expert enough, and there are so many. Inferiority complex. Superiority complex, which is, I already know everything. So you block your mind from learning. Fear complex. I will be rejected. I will die. So these are the poisonous beliefs based on one of those complexes. I think if you think this deserves another video, I can talk very much in detail about those limiting beliefs based on these three complexes. Write in the comments if I should record video like that. Okay? So negative approach, find the source of problem. Positive approach, find such a belief which will automatically cancel the problems. Mundane, spiritual, negative, positive. These are the approaches. And how you acquire knowledge? Through three stages. Hearing, thinking, becoming. Like my guru says, he said, if somebody criticizes you, and even if there is an iota of truth there, calmly accept and express gratitude to this person, because this person helps you to become better. See? Negative approach. It works. Auto-suggestion comes from outside. You are pointed out something and you just bring your attention there. You have to see whether it is true or not. If it is true, exterminate. Remove that poison from your heart. from your consciousness. So this is how you go. You can subscribe to the channel. The moment you found this channel, it means already your life is ready for a new stage. And very, very interesting, I want to hear from you. Did you have that story in your life that you transitioned from one state to another through the knowledge? Just knowledge has come, just it has illuminated your mind, and you just, wow, okay, now I will do differently. And then the entire life has changed. I am very interested. And what do you think? What is your poisonous pump? Is there such a poisonous pump in your consciousness? Is there something that needs to be removed from there? To be realized, to be detected, and then finally removed? So write in the comments, let's discuss this topic. Thank you very much, and namaskar.